Hello, everyone. I'm Charlie, and welcome back to the DraftKings DFS slate breakdown. Our first Thursday slate with the new Champions League format underway, meaning we get more teams. So Thursday, which used to be a Europa League slate, typically is now another Champions League slate this week, and then next week I think it's like all Europa League. Really weird format. Like it's like Champions League one week, Europa League the next. But I'm never going to say no to more soccer. So here we are here with this Thursday slate. And the big favorite is Sport. And you can see right away here, minus 1,100, playing Kairat, who were really impressive in knocking out Celtic in Champions League qualifying. Like, I don't think anyone really expected that. Celtic were like minus 1,000 themselves, I think, in their home leg. But now they're playing Sporting, who are a step above Celtic here. Celtic have kind of struggled, I think, in their league play in general. We worry about Brendan Rodgers' time, but we'll get into that another time. But for this slate, so like Sporting, you definitely could see beating on them, and odds really reflect that. Second biggest favorites are Man City at minus 150, then Newcastle Barca and Frankfurt Galatasaray, both plus odds on both teams in those games. So yeah, it's very much a stack Sporting kind of slate here, based off of the odds. Now, in terms of our goal contribution chances, for Newcastle, the two strikers, Voltamata and Lewandowski at minus odds, and a bunch of guys at plus 110 and to plus 150, all the attackers basically. Man City and Napoli, Haaland leading the way as he usually does on minus odds, as he usually is, followed by Foden, Rangers, a couple of other guys on City at plus 100-ish. Sporting and Kyra. Now we see the big numbers here. A bunch of the Sporting guys at minus 200, including Goncalves, Suarez, not to be confused with the Liverpool one, the Colombian Luis Suarez, Ioannidis, Trincao, all at minus 200-ish. Katamo and Kenda, both minus odds as well. So yeah, odds really reflect the chances of a beatdown here. Now, in terms of our projected lineups and set pieces for Sporting, it should be like they're just a mess, frankly. Like Gonçalves will take something likely. However, they got Trincao, Kenda, Kochorishvili, who all end up taking here and there. They're not a team with a set routine. Even going back to the Amarim days, Sporting have never been a team who kind of really have a consistent set piece routine. We'll see a bunch of like 3 or 4 guys typically end up taking a little bit here and there. And then for Kairat, Gromko is their usual set piece taker. He's a Belarus guy. He's like I know my Kazakhstan set piece, so at least for this team. With them having played through the Champions League qualifiers, with Joey had some small little slates for, of course, of which I covered in the FSI Discord, which can be accessed through the website through a subscription in the link below. But with him not projected, I imagine it'll be Satayev, maybe Jorginho. I wouldn't worry too much about it because like I don't expect them to have a ton of set pieces. They are huge dogs for a reason. Frankfurt and Galatasaray. Frankfurt should be Doan and Taibi. Galatasaray should be some combo of Gundogan and Sarah. Gundogan, I think, is most likely. He took the most in their last league game, his first start for the club. But I wouldn't be surprised if they go to more of a split with Sarah. He's a pretty good set piece taker, and I wouldn't surprise if they just go to a straight split. City and Napoli, the De Bruyne homecoming. For Napoli, it should be De Bruyne and Politano. And City, it should be Rangers and Foden splitting, although you can see like Bernardo take something here and there, and maybe Foden take a little bit larger share than a straight split. Man, with like 75% of the sets say. They have a new set piece coach, so they kind of try new things here and there. It's not super fun from a DFS perspective, but Foden, he is the kind of the main set piece guy in this team. Newcastle and Barca. Newcastle should be Trippier mostly. However, Tonali, Elanga will definitely hop on something here and there. They don't have really a super set routine either. And then they're also another team with a new set piece coach. So those set piece coaches, they're ruining our beautiful game. Barca should be mostly Rafinha, maybe Pedri, Fermin, split a little bit. Danny Olmo too, if he plays, could end up taking something. But Rafinha usually has his guaranteed side, and the other side they get a little bit weird. Sometimes Rafinha will take a little bit on that side. Sometimes it'll be just straight in swingers with Pedri or Fermin. They're a bit of a, it's mostly Rafinha, but they can be a little bit weird at times. Now let's go into our pricing. Lamine Yamal is out, of course. With I want to see if they say the pubic discomfort. I think was the official report. Groin injury they give him makes sense. After him, Luis Suarez. You can already see that this is a little bit of a lesser priced slate than we've had last couple of days. We've seen like 10, 11, 12K attackers at times, but here, like we got Lamine Yamal, it is the highest at 10K, who of course is not going to play, and then Suarez at 9K, and then Holland 8,800. We're not going to have a single forward who is going to be in that 10K range starting. So you're going to have a lot of room here with salary at forward. After those guys like Suarez, Holland, Rashford, who's a little bit underpriced or overpriced, I'm sorry, who shouldn't start anyway. Rafinha, 8,400. That's not really bad spot either. Like all these forwards feel underpriced just because of kind of how soft it is in this position. Other guys who I'm going to be tempted by, it's mostly the sporting guys. Like Suarez is going to be super in play. Holland, as always, is going to be in play. Same for Rafinha. I never mind any of those guys. Then you got like Trincao, 900. I think he'll be super popular. Chances of set pieces for sporting. He's typically pretty safe 4 minutes. As well, just this monster matchup where like they're going to dominate. They'll have good flow. You should have a decent floor. After him, like there's Katama who is out, so don't mind him. Ian Edis, if he makes a surprise start 5,700, that is a super tempting play. Probably Tano 5,600, set piece taker. This is a tough matchup is the only thing, but that's not awful. Gordon, who I'm interested is not projected. I don't think he's like I don't think the red applies to Champions League. So I wouldn't be if he started. I'm not really sure why they don't have him in here. I imagine he gets a game if he's healthy. But we're okay. But after him, there's like not a ton, frankly. Like there's Salah, if he starts at 37. I don't even know if he's on this team anymore, but if he somehow starts, sure. Luca and Hoyland, the two Napoli strikers, if they start, they're not bad little GPP plays at their price range. But yeah, like Sporting, you're kind of top end guys here. They'll pick up most of the ownership on this slate. And then midfield, there's Pote, or this is Pedro Gonçalves. He's got a different name on DraftKings. I think he has Pote on the back of his jersey too. I'm not exactly sure of the meaning of it, but he's kind of your main target at midfield. He's pretty safe for spreads. He's kind of their main attacking outlet for Sporting. So like, yeah, I love Pote here. He'll be a core play for me when we get to that section of the video. After him, there's De Bruyne. So if he was still playing for Man City home against Napoli, I'd love him a ton. Now he's playing for Napoli away to City. I think it's a tough matchup here. Conte's not afraid to kind of sit back a little bit at times. Uh, um, but I was between Poppy that website pop up. But at 8,600, being away, like Man City who are going to keep possession, I think it's a little bit tough, a little bit more of a tough spot for him. But like I never mind a KDB play. I just worry about his set piece volume. It's just the only thing there. After him, like there's Gundogan at 6,400. I don't think that's a terrible spot. Ritsu Doan at 7,600. I really like him as a player. He's been super fun to watch for Frankfurt. He crosses a ton. He didn't really have set pieces much when he was at Freiburg last season, but now he's like a crossing set piece taking winger, and it's just super fun. He's a solid option here at home to Galatasaray. After that, there's no one I think is a huge, like really awesome play other than Kenda, who I really like here. Another guy who hopefully has some set pieces, and another just piece of sporting exposure here, where we just continue to get more pieces who can hopefully beat on Kairat a little bit. Yeah, it is Kairat, right? Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. Just about. But yeah, and 6K too. I think that's a bit of a bargain play. Also on top of that, so yeah, he's a solid option here. Like, you can really play all these sporting guys. I don't think that'd be crazy. Like play 5 or 6 of them. I think that'd be fine, honestly. Other than him, there's like Chivy, who I think is fine, but don't love. And then there's just not a ton else here. Kocho Rashvili, not a bad little sporting exposure piece. I worry about his set piece share a little bit with Gonçalves because he is another righty like Gonçalves. What you worry about a little bit, like Gonçalves will take where he can or take at least some share. So he's kind of the most likely to kind of lose out on set pieces a little bit. Because of Trincao and Kenda being both lefties, they're not really competing with Gonçalves as much for sets, which Rush really is. That's my one issue with him, but worst case, he's just more sporting exposure, which you can't really go wrong with. And then here's Phil Foden, 4,700. This for me, if he starts, will be a core play. I'm saying it now. He provides a second/third team exposure away from sporting, which you're going to need here. Like, you can't just play like 11 sporting players or 8 sporting players, whatever it is. It gives you 4, 5, 6, 9 sporting players. But no, it is 8. Eight slots. I'm so done. But yeah, he'll be a sporting alternative. And at 4,700, like this is just such a bargain option. He looked awesome too in their last league game. So Phil Foden, 4,700. I love that as a play. I really hope he starts. After that, I think there's not a ton. There's my boy Gromko, who I expect to start if he's healthy. But it's just a tough matchup. I don't love it. Defenders, Trippier's kind of your big name. However, they are playing Barcelona. Barcelona are going to keep possession likely, and they're kind of a bit of a murky triple split at times. Like I know Trippier's going to have the most probably, but he's still competing with 2 other mouths for set pieces likely. And it's just a tough matchup where you're just worried about the volume of set pieces you're going to get. He's not a guy who gets super far forward and gets a ton of open play value either. So I don't think Trippier's a lock by any means, but he's very much in plays because there's not a ton of really good defender options. After him, like there's just not a ton. There's the sporting fullbacks, Mangas, who I think isn't projected. Fresneda, I assume, is the other one. Yeah. But, oh no, they have Badjanidis over Fresneda at right back. Like whoever starts there, both fine. There's Badjanidis right there, Fresneda right there. There's similar prices. There's really solid options. Like really any sporting spot is completely fine here. And then after that, there's not a ton here. Like Spinazzola is never a bad play. Just the Man City matchup scares me a little bit. Jakobs is a pretty attacking fullback for Galatasaray. I don't think he's in projected. Yeah, they have El Mali there. Oh, and Shalai isn't projected to start at right back. That's wild. But El Mali, let's check how much he is. I don't remember seeing him on my first peruse. But yeah, 3,800. That's a fine play. I wish he was a little bit cheaper. That could tempt me a little bit, but he's fine. There's just not a ton of really great standout defender options here. That's why I'm kind of more leaning towards your sporting guys and Trippier if need be. And yeah, in terms of like your bargain bin options, I think you're looking at maybe CD punts on the favorite matchups, like St. Just, like whoever starts at center back for City. I think they're all too expensive. Okay, if he starts DeBast, there's fine center back options looking for a goal off of a set piece, kind of like Van Dijk did in the Liverpool game just now. Then goalkeeper, just absolute punt. Who was the highest? I don't even know who the highest was. It might have been Karnaseki was up there for against PSG, saved a penalty kick, made a bunch of saves. Like I think he was fine. Who kept a clean sheet today? I don't remember off the top of my head. I believe I don't get a clean sheet. It was whoever played. Whatever. It's a crapshoot. I don't pay too much attention to it. It was Inter. Inter also kept a clean sheet. It just came to my mind. But yeah, just a little bit of luck at times. Kind of just play whoever fits the rest of your build, as I always say. Yeah, yeah. You get the idea. Now, in terms of a core, I'm gonna have Pote or Gonçalves, Foden if he starts, praying he does. However, I wouldn't be surprised if Pep eases him back a little bit. He hasn't played a ton lately. Only had his first start of the season last game, so I'd be a little surprised, frankly, if he starts back to back. But with the amount of injuries they have, like there's a chance that Foden starts. I'd love it. He's in projected. I'm putting him in the core for now. And then I'm going to go with Francisco Trincao. He's a little bit cheaper than your Luis Suarez, who I think will also be a little popular. And Holland, who I think also could pick up some ownership, but like they're both playable as well, and they pair well with Trincao, especially with his salary, so it kind of saves you a little bit. But yeah, guys, that's all I got. I'll see you for the next one. Peace.